Good morning everyone and welcome to another episode of South Yorks Allotment. We've had a real hard frost overnight. It got down to about -3 here. So that's about the fourth continuous night in a row now. It's plummeted to about that temperature. So as you can see, the grounds are quite rock hard. Like brick. But I'm planning on doing a bit of pruning today anyway. That's my task for today. There's loads of tidying up to do as well and get rid of some rubbish, but at the moment all the area can get done as and when it just thaws out a bit, so I can just whip over them weeds and just scrape them all out. But this is the area to focus on really. Cut these raspberry canes down and also tie the new loganberries and to cut out and prune out all the dead wood. Okay, so I've just cleared all the raspberries off now, and there are all the stems what are left. Now rather than me waste these and burn them or throw them or do whatever, I'm going to use these as pea sticks, and I'll probably cut them in half because the peas I grow don't usually grow too tall. So unless I've got a taller variety, then I'd leave them as they are, but some really good nice straight ones there, so it's all about recycling and reusing what you can really. So I'm quite pleased with that really. Nice little start there, so now I'm going to get in tackle the Loganberries. Right then, so I'm just back at home now. I'm doing a bit of seed sowing today. It's the 31st of January. This is what I've got lined up for today. I've already pre-marked them out with the label marker there. So tomatoes, leeks, peppers. And I'm going to try onions from seed this year, as well as the usual sets, just to see how they compare in terms of growing, how the bulb swells, if it, you know, decent sized bulbs, if they bolt, etc, etc. So it's just kind of like my own little bit of an experiment. So I've got some pots here. I've given these a good clean out from last year. It's important that, you know, you get all of the rubbish inside and cleaned out, so there's no pests and diseases in there, so they've had a good swill out. And I'll just get set up now and get ready for planting. This is a seed sowing compost I'm using, and it's from Westlands, and it's just your bog standard seed sowing. Added John Innes, so I'm not adding anything to this mix. It's just a straightforward compost. Hopefully the seeds will be up shortly, so they won't be in the compost too long, and then I'll do some additives within the potting on mix. So firstly then, I've got all my mix sorted now. It's all in a tray ready, and I'm just going to fill a couple of these pots up. These are just 4-inch pots, and I'm just going to fill it to the roughly just under the brim. Just gently firm it down so there's no air pockets inside. So what we've got first then, what shall we do? Do the tomatoes. And this is Moneymaker. So Moneymakers vary around about golf ball size. I've used these for as long as I can remember really. I do like the Moneymakers, they're great growing tomatoes for the greenhouse. They've won me some good prizes in the shows, in the local shows I have as well, so it's all good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly broadcast just some seeds around the perimeter, around the circumference of the pot, a few inside, probably plant about 30, and then I'll just thin them out to like the strongest ones as and when really. So there we go. I might as well just put them all in because there's not that many left. Then just grab a small handful, just put a dusting over the top. I just cover them about 5 ml or so of soil, nothing too extravagant because they're on little seeds and they've got to break through. Firm that down, make sure it's all nice and level. And then what I'll do is, before I put it in the trough, give it a little bit of a light dusting of water, and then sit him on the windowsill, put a plastic cover over them until I see the seeds popping up, and then I'll take the cover off. And then hopefully the warmth of the house will carry them on growing well. And then when they're ready for transplanting out into a bigger pot, so they can grow on even better, then I'll bring that footage as well. So I'm just going to do pretty much the same style method really. There's nothing difficult about it really, it's just popping them in, because like I say, it's only just to get them a good start, get them a boost. All the finer bits and details will come as they get bigger, hopefully stronger, healthier plants. So these are Gardener's Delight, same principles as Moneymaker, just lightly broadcast a few seeds into there. Cover it over again with a bit of the compost, just a few mils as I say. Just push any excess off on the sides, gently firm it down, make sure it's level, because if not the water might just puddle in areas, might not get an even coating. What I usually like to do is get one of those like a barber's squirter, squirting gun thing, what you mist them. So it just gives a nice colour at the top. What I do though is, once the seeds come through, I tend to just water from the bottom, because that way the tomatoes, the stems, they won't dampen off as such. So I'll still have a decent seed. Important thing to do as well, just make sure you label them. So there we go, tomato, gardener's delight, and tomato moneymaker. So I'll get the rest of these cracked on with, and I'll get back with you shortly. Here we are then, everything's now housed within the propagator. It's had a real good water, and then I'll just leave that on there then until I see any seeds appearing. I'm just down at plot 2 at the moment, and I've got last year's runner beans, which I saved for seed because I really enjoyed the taste and the flavour. It were really nice, and different from the traditional colour which you get on the runner beans, which is like a purpley black speckly colour there, which I've saved from 2 years ago seed. This one is just all white. I can't remember the variety, so if I do remember in the meantime, I'll just put a little bit of a header just to say what variety it is. I've got a feeling it might be something like Scarlet Emperor, but I'm not too sure. And then I'm just saving them, like I say, just going to dry them out a bit more, and then they'll be ready for going again in around about early April. It's just a little indoor task today because it's a bit we've had a bit of snow, as you can see from next door's plot, and it's not quite thawed out yet. Although I have constructed the new the raised bed frame there, took away the old one what rotted there, and that'll house the carrots for next year. And I've also got another little raised bed just at the side of the bench, and that's going to have some nice sweet smelling flowers, so we can sit there and enjoy the evening sun in the summertime. Did you participate in the Great British Bird Watch last weekend? Let me know in the comments below if you did and what you saw, what you recorded. Now in mine, we had 30 starlings, we had 20 sparrows, we had a couple of collared doves, pair of collared doves and a pair of jackdaws, which was nice to see, a pair of blackbirds, and not on here, we had a pair of pied wagtails, which was nice to see them bobbing around. So like I say, let me know what you saw, what you recorded, if you participated in it. Just before I go with you then, I just want to bring to you that I'm starting to record the maximum and minimum temperatures over each week within the month. So this is January's. The maximum temperature it got up to was 11 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature which was recorded was -3.2. Now this video will go out in early February, and I know already that February's lowest temperature has already smashed the record for this year so far, so you'll see that in the end of video towards the end of February. So this is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Next time I'll be bringing you footage of me visiting the local garden centres and buying some bits and pieces, so then I'll do a video of what I've brought to you. So for the time being, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next episode.